Hey everybody, welcome back. These are some dirty, rotten cheaters that deserve a special place in hell. I'll roll my sleeves up for this one.
So my boyfriend cheated on me when I was 19, and the way that I found out was really funny, so I'm going to tell the story. We basically lived together. I still have my house, but like whatever, we lived together. And he had 7 roommates. And one night he's like, oh, I'm going to go on a night out. If you don't want to come, you just stay here, which happened frequently. I'm like, yeah, okay, great. He's like, also that day, he'd got a brand new phone. He's like, I'm going to take the new phone out with me. And I was like, first of all, that's stupid. Why are you taking a brand new phone with you on a night out? But whatever. So he goes, old phone, still here. I'm like, I'm going to look through the phone because I had my suspicions and I was 19. So I was like, I'm going to look through the phone. So I look through the phone. Immediately, there's an unsaved number. And I'm like, okay. Click on that. Scroll to the top. Boobs with love bites. And a message being like, can't believe what you've done to me. My sister just saw. I'm like, okay, so I've been cheated on. Great. And then I'm like, I recognise the boobs. I know whose boobs those are. I know who those boobs belong to. But I need to prove it. So I go upstairs to his roommate. And I'm holding my boyfriend's phone. And Charlie, do you have Patricia's number? And Charlie stands there and goes, what? I'm like, do you have Patricia's number? I just need to check something. Do you have Patricia's number? And he said, no, don't have it. I'm like, can you check your phone? Can you grab your phone and check? Because pretty sure you do. Pretty sure you do. And he comes back out and he's like, no, don't have it. And then as we're standing there in the hallway, ding, my boyfriend's phone goes off and it's a message from Charlie saying, shit man, Abby knows about Patricia. Okay, so that's gone to this phone and it's gone to the new phone as well. So now we're all on the same page. Charlie, me, ex-boyfriend, we all know what's happening here. So I start blowing up his phone. I'm like, you need to answer me right now. You need to answer. He's ignoring all of my calls, obviously. And then he phones Charlie to gauge, I think, how mad I am and how I found out. And Charlie's standing there and he's like, and I'm like, if you answer it, you give the phone to me because he needs to talk to me, really. And Charlie's like, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to answer it then. I'm like, okay, boys sticking together, get it. And then another roommate comes out of his room, Barry. And he's been woken up. He doesn't know what's going on. He comes out of his room and he's like, Abby, your boyfriend's calling. He must want to talk to you. I'm like, no, he doesn't, but I'll take the call. Hi, babe, you have 10 minutes to get home. Otherwise, you will never see me again. And he's like, I haven't got money for the bus. I'm like, that's really not my problem. Realistically, should I have left right then and never spoken to him again? Yes, but I was 19 and had no one else except him. So deal with that how you want. So he gets home and I'm like, so it was Patricia, right? Like the boobs, I was right, it's Patricia. And he's like, yeah, it was Patricia. I'm like, did you use protection? Considering you literally just got me pregnant and we just had an abortion. He's like, no, I didn't use protection. I'm like, great. Respect for me is down here. And then I stayed with him for another 6 months. So really the lesson is, girls, go through their phones because for him it didn't change anything at all, really. Go through the phone.
What kind of stupid, how stupid do you need to be to leave your phone with some secrets on it at home where your girlfriend can find it? How delulu must you be? And also, the friends that are, aiding this boyfriend in his cheating and keeping it from the girlfriend, you're just as bad. Okay, you're just as bad. Oh, boys will be boys. Shut up! Here's hoping you never get cheated on. I have no money for the bus. Goes to town anyway. He does have money for the bus, babe. He just doesn't have money to come home and be yelled at for cheating. That's not high on his list of priorities because that would mean taking accountability for one's actions. Only go through their phone if you're ready to finish with them. No point in doing it and staying with them. Good point, girl. What is this, Snow White and the 7 roommates? I know, me thinking, I'm like, how many roommates does this girl have? And how many of them know about the cheating? All of them? If you go through their phone and find stuff, leave. That is the lesson here. It only gets worse. It's literally right in front of you, babe. It's hard. I get it. It sucks to leave. It also sucks to stay with a cheater who you've literally caught cheating red-handed.
Have an order with me while I tell you a really funny story as to how my first ever boyfriend cheated on me. Let me set the scene. So I was 15 at the time and my friend, who we're going to call Millie for the purpose of this video, was in the year above me at school and she was 16. We weren't like best friends, but we'd been friends for like a year, so we were quite close. Her mum was going away for the weekend and it was around Valentine's Day time, so we thought, yes, let's throw a Valentine's Day party. But now it is Valentine's Day and it's the day of the party. She'd invited a load of people from our school, a load of boys were going, like our boyfriends. It was just like, it was going to be so much fun. We were getting ready together and then when everyone started turning up, it was so much fun, just, doing the normal party stuff. As it was getting a little bit later, I couldn't find my boyfriend or my friend, so I was a bit like, where are they? Like, the house wasn't huge, but it was quite big, so I was thinking maybe they're just in, like, another room. I started to ask everyone, like, have you seen Millie or my boyfriend? Because I can't find them anywhere. And everyone was like, no, I haven't actually seen them in ages. So I went around the house, I started having a little look in all the rooms, and one of the rooms I went into, I walked in, and there they both were. She was sat on his lap on the bed, and they were kissing. My little 15-year-old heart broke. I literally thought it was the end of the world. I'd never been so sad in my life, and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, you're such an idiot. How could you do this to me? I burst into tears, and I called my mum straight away to come and pick me up. I was just so angry. I was thinking, how can I get revenge? Like, I need to get revenge on this boy, because this is not fair. And I thought to myself, aha, he's just bought himself a new coat that he was like really proud of. I think this coat had like costed him a couple of £100 or something, and it was like the new thing. So I was like, I went downstairs. His coat was obviously in like the cloakroom part where everyone's coats were, and I thought, do I do it? Do I not? Like, is that a bit weird? I thought, Ella, screw it. I've done it. I literally weed all over his coat. Like, when I think of it now, it is so gross, but at the time, I thought that is hilarious. Like, he's gonna hate me for that because that coat, like, was his new coat. Yeah, I was weird all over it, and by that time, my mum was there to pick me up, and I literally ran out the house and never spoke to him again, and I was so happy. On the way home, I even called the girl's mum and was like, just to let you know, she's having a party. But yeah, I'm just so proud of myself for doing it. So if any of you are looking for ways to get revenge, that is the best way I'd say. We on his coat.
We on his coat, ladies. We on his coat. Have a nice little wee. And make sure you eat some asparagus before, too. This reminds me of a time where I was 16 years old. I was on a cruise, all right? And I had my cruise best friend and my cruise boyfriend. Everything is wonderful. And then, you know, like, I start to notice one night, like, I can't find my cruise best friend and my cruise boyfriend. And I end up going to this, like, private lounge, and I look through the window, and I saw it. I saw everything. And it was, if you can imagine, I don't want to do it because then that might be too graphic, but it was like the legs. And I was 16 and I was like, what the hell is going on? It was so traumatizing. I still remember it so clearly. And I thought it was the worst thing in the world. But like, looking back, like in hindsight, I was on a cruise with my family and I never saw those people ever again. So, I mean, it really wasn't that bad. But I still remember. I remember the legs. And I confronted her afterward and she was just like,
I want to have fun on the cruise too, Charlotte.
What a... I blocked her on AOL Instant Messenger after that. My fiance cheated on me with my father. Yeah, I read it again. That is what that says. All right, buckle up, friends. Me, 27 male, fiance, 26 female, called her L, and my father, call him B. He's 52. My mother, 50 female, call her R. Like many who've had something like this happen, I never thought something like this would happen to me, but here we are. I've never used Reddit, but I've seen stories on here from TikTok, so I thought I'd give this a shot for any advice you could give me. From listening to other stories, you all like to backstory. I'll try to be as clear and precise as I can, but it's only been a week, so if I start to lose it during the telling of this, I'm sorry. Elle and I met in her freshman year of college. We were both dorm in the same building where we eventually met. We later found out we lived 2 towns away from each other, so whenever we went home, I let her drive with me. It only added 20 minutes, so it was no big deal. After multiple trips and hanging out at school, we started to date. I have a close-knit family, and so did she, so we told our families right away. I had met hers plenty of times when dropping her off, but it was nothing more than an introduction and exchanging pleasantries. Both of our families accepted each other with open arms, and our relationship grew. I was a year ahead of her, so when I graduated, I went home where I was offered a good job with great pay. I visited her at school whenever I got the chance, and whenever she came home, we would make time for each other. After she graduated, she moved in with me, as both our jobs were in the city near where we grew up. Like me, she was offered a position at a company she works at now with great pay. After living together for about 3 years, I proposed, and we've been planning our wedding ever since. Now onto the part you're all reading for. Looking back, there were plenty of things I overlooked that I just wrote off thinking my father was just trying to welcome my ex into my family. Things like my father calling her all the time, and if I was around, they would just tell me they were talking about the upcoming family party or something along those lines. One time, Elle was in the shower and her phone rang and I saw it was my dad, so I answered. When he realized it was me, he sounded both upset and surprised that I picked up. I then asked, "What's up?" He responded with he wanted to talk to Elle about my mother's birthday that was in a week, and after a minute, we ended the call. Even typing this out now, I feel like an idiot for not seeing it sooner. What possible reason could a dad have for calling your fiance? You know what? It does happen once in a while, but not like often, you know? How many prizes are y'all planning together? And also, like, why isn't, you know, the son involved in this supposed planning? Like, why is this something that you only need to talk to the, like, fiance about? On the day I found out, it was like any other day. Elle had Thursdays off, so she made breakfast for both of us. When I set out for work, she gave me a kiss and she told me to have a great day. During my drive to work, I realized I'd forgotten some paperwork. It's always on the days where you forget something at home. Ain't it? You come home early, you forget something at home. They really don't give you that much time, eh? Like it's like as soon as you're out the door, it's like, come over, let's cheat! It's cheating time!
It's cheating time.
I realized I'd forgotten some paperwork I would need for a meeting at 3 p.m. I shrugged it off and told myself I would just go home at lunch to get it. Elle texted me throughout the day, talking about all the casual stuff. Couple talks about, what do you want for dinner? I did the laundry. Do you want me to hang it up for you? Blah, blah, blah. Sounds like she's trying to cover for something. Like, your dad! I didn't think it was necessary to text her I was coming home for lunch, so when it came around, I just left work and went home. When I got home, I noticed a car that looked like my father's in our parking lot, but I didn't think anything of it and just parked and went into our building. When I opened the door, I was met with a scene out of a movie where a man comes home early and catches his spouse cheating. Such a cliche. There were a trail of clothes, both his and hers, leading to my bedroom. Oh, the dad. Oh, geez, the dad. And the sound of faint moans echoed throughout my apartment. I stood at the door in utter shock. My brain was a mix of rage, sadness, and disgust. But if you were a fly on the wall, you would see what looked like a statue. I couldn't move. When I finally snapped to, not knowing how much time had passed, I took out my phone to record. I picked up all the clothes that were on the floor and I threw them into the hall of the building. After, I filmed the walk to my bedroom. Oh, buddy. Oh, no. Oh, God, you filmed it. The door was open and I stood in the doorway filming for about a minute, then flipped on the lights. They both jumped at the sudden light and looked at me. And to my utter shock, it was my father in the bed with her. After the initial stun, my father noticed I was recording and started panicking, trying to find anything to cover himself and tell me to stop recording. I'm sorry, is he like just totally fine? It's fine. You've seen it before. He found a towel, wrapped it around himself, and started to walk toward me. I told him if you don't want to get hurt, stop coming to me. He either didn't care or didn't hear me, and I reached for my phone. I hit him square on the jaw, and his head bounced off the door and slumped to the ground. Elle shrieked, and I aimed the camera at her and said, concerned about your frick buddy, but nothing to say to your fiance? My father woke up after about a minute nap, and I told him I just needed to come pick something up for work. So I'm heading back now. If either of you pieces of are here when I get back, I'll send this video to everyone you know. Oh yes, period. That's what's up, babe. The dad, eh? The dad? Oh, the levels we will stoop to. The best friends, the dads, the sisters, the bullies. Like, it's like, why you gotta pick those people, you know? Like, I'm already a person. Let's make myself even by screwing someone that is close to the person that I'm supposed to marry or already married to. Add a little icing on the cake. The cake. I ended the video and looked at my dad, who was still coming to, and said, you are dead to me. You're no longer my father, but you might want to go home and talk to mom because I will be talking to her very soon. I sat in my car for a while until one of the bosses at work called to ask where I was. I told her I was on my way back. When I got to her office to hand her the paperwork, I must have looked awful because she started asking what was wrong. I told her it was nothing and I'd be okay. I could see her scanning me up and down. She noticed some blood on my collar and stood up, rushed to me and said, you're bleeding. I looked down and said it was my father's. She looked confused, so I pulled out my phone and showed her the video. Oh God, you showed your boss. Oh geez, oh. I mean, how else are you gonna explain that? I feel like that's a pretty good excuse, you know? I'm really sorry I'm late. I was just catching my father and my fiance cheating. She watched it in its entirety. She was introduced to Elle a few times, but never my father. She sat there silent for a moment until it finally clicked that my fiance was cheating on me, but not only was she cheating, it was with my father. She asked if there was anything she could do, suggesting I take some time off, but I told her I can't go back there right now, that I just need a minute and I'd be fine for the meeting and I'll have another shirt in my office. The meeting went fine. I put a smile on for everyone like nothing happened. My boss came up to me after the meeting and asked how I could do that, but I just said, I don't know. I went in my office. I then came home and I was alone for the very first time in a long time. Thank you for reading. I'm sorry I carried on so much, but it was therapeutic getting everything down. I just don't know what to do. I definitely need to get the hell out of this apartment. I can't live here anymore and there's no possible way I'm sleeping in that bed. I not only have to go get checked out now, but I think I broke something in my hand. I think it was worth it, babe. If there was anyone who ever deserved a big old sock to the face, it's that guy. God, I can't even imagine. I cannot even imagine. I'm sorry you went through that. Burn the bed. Don't actually, but like, just get the hell out of there. You know, like just, it's tainted. Every time that you walk through that door, you're gonna see that image. It'll fade eventually, but like, speaking as someone who has seen it before, it's still there. But would be even worse if I had to go back to the same place where it happened every single time, you know? Just the legs. The legs! Cheater, meet hell. You have plenty of time to get acquainted. Subscribe!